There I is. Holy cow. For a moment there, it's like I just wasn't going to pop up. And here I thought I had all this figured out. All right. So, welcome to the show. Glad you are here. This is a one-man army of a show starring yours truly. That's what you get. Just me. Just little old me. Who we got here? James Apperson says, I've got this. Thanks, James. You're good people. Caterpillar. Oh, it's not an act. I'm just not impressed. It hurts, Daddy, when you say things like that, Caterpillar. Tux TV, always a favorite, calling me James, or calling James, probably. And Zachary LaHawkey, here we go, guys. You're damn right. So, welcome to the show. I'm going to give it just a minute for everyone to kind of come flooding in here, but we're going to have a good time tonight. We're going to have a good time tonight. Yeah. Let me pop into the YouTube section of this here as well and look at what's this telling me. I've got how many people in the gang? Looks like I've got I've got a full 16 people watching right now. That's 17. That's Andrus Stadium. That's incredible. All right, guys. So here's the deal. I welcome everyone's super chats in order to support me and make sure that I have the funds to keep doing what I am doing. But also, you'll notice I have pinned up in the comments, up there at the top in the comments, my PayPal, the link to my PayPal. I've also got it linked in the description of this video. If you are able to contribute directly to my PayPal, those are funds that I get right away. I don't have to wait on them like I do the super chats. And it's much needed right now because things are really tight with my having to have splurged for all new equipment, new modem and new router and all that. Things are tight. So if you're able to contribute to my PayPal, again, I welcome the super chats, of course. But if you do contribute to my PayPal, just message me here in the comments. Let me know. Use all caps in order to let me know that that's what you've done. And then I will be sure to guarantee that we take your question. So I might repeat that a few times throughout the show just so that everyone knows. But I could really use your help if you are able to contribute directly to the PayPal. Not that the super chats are by any means unwelcome. So anyway, the whole deal tonight is ask me anything. So I'm here for it. If you're here for it, I am taking your questions and you're going to more or less kind of take the lead here. We're going to go in whatever direction you guys take this MFer. So let's do it. Come on with the questions. Come on with super chats. Let's see what you got. What are we working with? Come on, peoples. Where are you at? I'm gonna have a little drink of water, H2O. That is delicious. Delicious. Here we go. Tux TV asks, you American? I would say so. I mean, us Americans are notorious for being idiots on the world stage. As far as developed, industrialized countries go, we're easily among the dumbest. And the reason you can know I'm dumb is you just ask David Falk. Ask David Falk. That guy knows. He knows. Ask him. He'll tell you. That Canadian MFer, he'll tell you I'm dumb. And that's proof enough that I am indeed American. America, all the way. All the way. So great question, Tux TV. I am indeed American. What else we got, kids? What else we got? He says, proud dumb guy too. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Dumb and proud, by God. All right, kiddies. It's your show. It's your show. What you got for me? Caterpillar says, fuck plus. It's a little bit of an inside joke between me and my good friend Caterpillar. I don't even, Caterpillar, you'll have to remind me how that even started. I don't recall exactly how that started. I think it was some kind of a miscommunication or something, but then we fell in love with the actual term, and now it's just a thing. And if you guys want to run with that, please do run with it. Please do run with fuck plus. It's the new thing, and the kids are going to love it. They're going to love it. What else we got here, kids? North America is a continent, so Canadians can be Americans as well. Hey, don't ever correct me. Don't you ever correct me on my own show. No, you're right. You're right. Technically, you're correct. And Kip Davis is then American. Oh, Kip Davis. What else we got? What else we got? Favorite pancake topping. Man, I'm kind of a good old-fashioned butter and syrup guy, to be straight with you, but I also don't mind every now and then, though it can be a little rich, chocolate chips mixed in with my pancakes. I don't know if you've ever been to the Pancake Pantry. It's a place they have in Tennessee. There's one in Nashville. I used to live in Nashville, Tennessee for 6 years, right around with Luke Bryan when he was not even anybody. Nobody knew of him then. Now he's like super famous. But yeah, they've got a pancake pantry in Nashville. You can get chocolate chip pancakes among a whole other variety of different types of pancakes. There's one in Gatlinburg too, which is one of my favorite places in the entire world, in the Smokies, in the Appalachian Mountains. So some good chocolate chip pancakes really does me right. I'm sure you can find that at other places too, but it's definitely a thing with Pancake Pantry. Oh goodness, what else we got? Come on, super intellectual, insightful questions, anyone? Thank you, Zachary. Said thank you again. Whatever you can do to support me with the super chats or contributions to the PayPal will be damn sure appreciated. As I said, I'm in a bit of a pinch financially, trying to make this work, having bought all new equipment and whatnot. So whatever you can do to help, certainly appreciated. Let's see here. He says, this is Saper. Oh, I don't know how to pronounce your name. I'm not even going to sit here and pretend to. It was agreement, not correction. Although now this is sort of correcting. See what you did? You see what you did? James Apperson says, I put people on my pancakes. Well, yeah, I mean, you're an atheist. Look, guys, with atheism, there's no moral foundation whatsoever. Because if it doesn't matter, if there's no metaphysical anchor for morality, right? If it doesn't matter to the universe, then it doesn't matter at all. I mean, it's not like, okay, it doesn't matter like on a cosmic scale, but maybe at least it matters to us. You know what I mean? Here on terra firma. Now that doesn't count. That doesn't count. So you see, there is no moral foundation if you're an atheist. Just ask Dennis Prager. He'll tell you. Dennis Prager he's really sharp. He gets it. Dennis Prager gets it. So people on pancakes, no big whoop. Take a bite out of a baby's head. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Ain't nothing wrong with it. Jesus drowned babies. I love your name. Jesus pool party. Yeah, that sounds like my little slice of heaven. Caterpillar asks, do you know much about Sisyphus? Been feeling like that dude pushing his boulder of late. PayPal sent. Oh, thank you, Caterpillar. I appreciate you, Presh. That's the thing you always said to me is I appreciate you. Sisyphus, he is, I can't recall what the reason was for his punishment, but I think Zeus had it to where he had to, I guess just perpetually push a boulder up a mountain or up a hill as punishment for something that he had done, and I don't recall exactly what that was, but that was his punishment. So what Caterpillar is essentially saying is that no matter how hard she tries, she feels like they feel like they're just going against the grain. And believe you me, Caterpillar, I get it. I'm certain that all of us can relate. So you and I will have to chat more. You'll have to let me know what all is going on. But of course, you're welcome to talk with your wonderful community that you have here as well, because we're all here for you. And by the way, Caterpillar, you need to start your own YouTube channel. And guys, I want you to encourage Caterpillar to do that, because Caterpillar has an amazing personal life, an amazing personal life. I won't go into the details because it's not my business to share, but it would be absolutely outstanding material for a YouTube channel. So please, guys, encourage Caterpillar to please, please, please start their own YouTube channel, because we would all be here for it, all of us. Let's see what else we got here. Let's see what else we got. Comprehensive answer. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Here's a super chat from Zachary Lahaki. Remember, guys, super chats or contributions to the PayPal get first dibs. Absolutely. Zachary asks, Derek, in your experiences with apologists, how many do you think are charlatans? And even those that aren't, how many do you think deep down know better with the arguments they use? That is a fantastic question. And I mean, of course, it's difficult to answer, because how can you really know for certain, right? I mean, we can't read minds, you know what I mean? So all that we have to go off of is perhaps body language or any other kind of non-verbal cues, or maybe inflection in the voice and whatnot. And even that is you're still speculating. It's just still a hunch. But you know, I suspect that some of them, probably not the majority of them, but that at least some of them are outright charlatans. I think some of them absolutely know better, and I think they know that Christianity is where the money is. That's where the money is. I mean, most people in this nation, and here in the U.S., and 30% of the whole damn world is Christian. So that is a market-rich environment. There's money to be made there for sure. So yeah, I as to who, I'll tell you, with William Lane Craig, I wonder sometimes. I really do. I get the sense that he really does believe Christianity, but some of his arguments, I tend to wonder if he deep down knows they've already been either debunked or at least are seriously questionable. And then he continues to use them anyway because it's part of his gig. With Craig, I mean, I think he's sincere in his belief, but I think he sometimes pushes this stuff when somewhere deep down he knows that it's not on as firm a ground as he likes to lead people to think. I could be wrong about this. I could be totally wrong. I just get that suspicion. I think that in general, apologists somewhere, water. In general, I think apologists somewhere deep down have really seething doubts, and that is precisely why they do what they do. They do what they do in order to alleviate their own deep down unspoken doubts, as well as try to comfort other Christians, the other pew potatoes who are likewise sharing these doubts. So I think a lot of it is fear driven. I think a lot of apologetics is absolutely fear driven. I think many of them, that it's almost like a defense mechanism. I really do. Again, I could be wrong, but that is the hunch that I get. That's the hunch I get. Guys, share in the comments whether you agree or disagree. Y'all chat about it. But Zachary, that is a great question. I think that's about all I have to say about that for now. But if you're not satisfied with that, you let me know, or your money back guaranteed. Thank you so much for the super chat and the really great question. Really great question. What else have we got going on here? Oh, hey, there it is. There it is. 0125 AR Cata. We need to see them animals. Absolutely. I'm telling you guys, it would be a hit. It would be a hit. Zachary says, by the way, Derek, dishonest apologists are not the same as charlatans. Yeah, I think that's fair. I think that's fair. I think also some of what you're dealing with apologists is intellectual dishonesty, so that it's not deliberate lying, so to speak, but it's a matter of deep down they're not being honest with themselves completely. And so whatever they write or whatever they say, that is what comes pouring out, and we get some kind of, it's like they just take and they distort things in their own head for their own comfort, for their own assurance, and then what comes out is not a deliberate lie, but is the result of their own intellectual dishonesty within themselves. I absolutely agree, 100%. 100. What else we got here? What else we got? James Apperson, I don't have enough energy to be a charlatan. That would be a good response to, is it Turek behind? I think it's Frank Turek and someone else, Norman Geisler. I don't have enough faith to be an atheist. Because it takes so much faith to be an atheist. I just really hopey wishy deep down, just really, really hope there's no God. And so I rely on my faith to be an atheist. Anyway, that would be a great sort of rejoinder to charlatan Turek. And sure, Turek, man, he makes me wonder. Again, I think deep down, I think he sincerely believes it, but man, I wonder if he's at the very least, he is a spin doctor, like so many of them. Absolutely. All right, guys, if you've got any super chats, or again, if you can make any contributions directly to my PayPal, which is pinned at the very top of the comments. It's also, the link is in the description. Whatever you can do, however little or however much you're able to help, so that I can continue to do what I'm doing and put food on the table and pay rent and all that good stuff, would be very, very much appreciated. What else have we got? Let me just wind through here. Here's a question for you, Derek: PlayStation or Xbox? Oh man, so I have both of the last gen models. I have the PlayStation 4 and I've got the Xbox One. I would love to have one of the newer gen models, but be pretty strange if I were sitting here begging for financial support while I had a brand new PlayStation 5 or Xbox Series X. That would tell you my priorities are pretty screwed up. So I wish I had one of the newer systems, but I do have the last gen systems, which to me, the graphics are still amazing. I am 45 years old. I was born in 1977. I'm a child of the 80s. I was playing in television and Atari. So by comparison, I'm telling you, I don't take this stuff for granted. The graphics are mind-blowing to me. I mean, it's art. That's half the reason I play these games, is because aesthetically, this stuff is art. You get sucked into these whole new worlds that you get to explore, and it's just amazing. But I probably play the Xbox One more than I play the PlayStation 5 or the PlayStation 4. I love the PlayStation 4 for the Spider-Man games, and especially Spider-Man Miles Morales, because it's amazing, absolutely amazing gameplay. But other than that, I tend to pop on the Xbox One more often. And as of late, I've been playing a lot of Far Cry. Mostly Far Cry 5, which is great because you're fighting against a religious cult that has taken over this town in Montana. And of course, Montana is beautiful in the game. I love it out west. Loved my recent trip out there. And like I said, you're fighting against a religious cult. What could be more satisfying than that? But also a lot of Far Cry 6 and the previous one, 4 as well. I've been getting into on the Xbox One. Thank you for your question. Guys, I would like to see, would very much appreciate any actual super chats or, again, contributions to the PayPal. Let's scroll through here, and here's one for $1.99 from one of my favorites, Melody Joy. What you working on? So Melody, I'm working on a variety of things, actually. Just earlier, apologists love to appeal to Trygve Medinger, who wrote The Riddle of Resurrection, Dying and Rising Gods in the Ancient Near East. And Trygve Medinger does this whole survey of really only about a handful of supposed dying and rising gods from the ancient Near East. And he actually validates that some of these really are legitimately examples of dying and rising gods. But he also has, toward the very end of the book, I mean, the very end of the book, page 221, he says, but these don't bear any resemblance to Jesus. You know, the resurrection of Jesus is utterly unique in the history of religions. So apologists love to appeal to that portion of Medinger's work. So lately I've been working on taking a bite out of what Medinger has to say there. For me, and this is what I will be pointing out, it's not important to me that a scholar says something. What is important to me is why they say something. Not that a scholar says something, why they say something. What are their reasons for stating this or that? So when you actually dig into Medinger's reasoning behind this, because he explains on that same page why he thinks the resurrection of Jesus can be so differentiated from these other myths. When you actually dig into that, it's a little shaky, and that's why I suspect that Trygve Medinger, being a Christian, is perhaps falling back a little bit on his faith commitments to assess this. Now, the apologists who've heard me say this think that that's an unfair ad hominem or attack on Medinger. You know, oh, you're just attacking him for being a Christian rather than honestly or objectively dealing with what he's saying. Well, I got news for you. I'm going to honestly and objectively deal with what his reasoning is there. We're going to take a good, close, critical look at that. So I've been working on that. I also found this is a little inside information just for you guys. There's this hilarious video. It's an unintentionally, inadvertently hilarious video by, I guess, a channel called Trailblazer. It's a Christian channel, and it's about how God hates masturbation. God hates masturbation. Masturbation is bad for you. It's really, really bad for you. You shouldn't masturbate because that's the devil getting you to, you know, you're shaking hands with the devil. You're shaking hands with the devil when you masturbate. So I've also been, I went ahead and screen recorded that whole video today and plan on doing a response to that as well. So there's a little insight as to what I've had going on, just kind of dabbling in a couple of different projects, you know, here and there. So thanks for the question, Melody Joy. As always, you are a delight, and I appreciate the super chat. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Caterpillar, you are blurry, or I am very stoned. You know what? You're right. I am blurry. I am blurry. Yeah, I don't know if that's helping. I don't know if that's helping. Yikes. Wonder why it's doing that. What if we up the lightage a little bit? What if we try that? That might have helped. There we go. All right, kids. What else have we got going on here? What else? What else? Looking for super chats. Or again, if you make a contribution to the PayPal, let me know in all caps. Just yell at me in the comments here. Let me know in all caps. Hey, I made a contribution to the PayPal. Take my question. Damn it. In the meantime, let's go through here and pick some things out. La-di-da-di-da. La-di-da-di-da. Melody Joy says, thanks for the update, Derek. You are much welcome. Much welcome. James Apperson, masturbation can be bad for you if you're doing it wrong. Someone should write a... And then, man, the suspense is killing me, James. Someone should write a what? Is masturbation bad for you? If so, we need to know why. You can't leave us hanging like that. That's a real cliffhanger. Let's vape about this, kids. I imagine if you overdid it on the masturbate, you might get some chafing. But personally, I think masturbation's a lot of fun. I just got finished right before we started this actual show, and then as soon as the show's over, I'm going to do it again. And that's not overdoing it by any stretch. That's normal and that's healthy. And I think deep down God thinks so too. I think he does. What's going on here, guys? Checking the comments. All right, so we're looking better. All right, guys, like I said, this is your show. You're here to take the lead. Come on now. Let's get some good questions. Let's get some super chats. Let's get some contributions. Anyone else have any questions? Any questions at all? Oh, Tux TV says PayPal. Great. I don't know if you're intending to say that you sent a PayPal or if you're just yelling the word like someone with Tourette's, which that's okay too. I always enjoy your participation, Tux TV. So thanks for being here. If you did make a contribution, if that's what you're meaning to say, please fire away with the question. I am happy to take. I want you to pick my mind because I also kind of curious about you, to be frank. Kind of want to pick yours if I ever have the opportunity. That's just telling the truth. All right, kids. I'm going to say that we're going to go till about the top of the hour. So that would be about 7 p.m. Central Standard Time. So wherever you are in the country or in the world, just take 7 p.m. Central Standard Time and then work either forwards or backwards, depending on where the fuck you are. That's my advice. Looking for any questions, super chats, anything, anybody got any burning desires? Come on now. You guys you got to have way more questions than this. Come on, kids. Let me jump over onto YouTube here and see how many folks we have got on the line with us currently. 24 watching right now. Okay. So a couple dozen. Hey-o. Billy G with PayPal. Would you ever consider co-hosting one of the atheist call-in channels? I think you would be great at it. Billy, absolutely not. I don't like attention. I don't like the spotlight. I don't like people to hear my thoughts. So I damn well will never, ever, not if Matt Dillahunty or Paula Gia approaches me and says, hey, do you want to be in my show? I'm gonna be like, fuck no. Don't you know? Don't touch me. I'm messing with you, of course. That I would love. I think this had been discussed with Paula G. I think Derek Lambert said something to him about it, but nothing's transpired there yet. But I'd be thrilled to be on Paula Gia's show and to have a little cartoon of me. I would love to see what Paula Gia would do with a cartoon version, little avatar of me. I'd be ecstatic. And plus, I just love Paula Gia's work. So I'd be ecstatic about being on the show. Matt Dillahunty's call-in show as well. I would love to take call-ins. I would love to take call-ins. Yeah, I'm sure you guys can just imagine how much fun I would have with that. Absolutely. If there are any specific shows you're wondering about other than the ones I mentioned, do let me know. Just yell at me in all caps again, Billy, because I'd be happy to answer that stuff. But yeah, I must answer in the affirmative. Absolutely, positively would be happy to be on a call-in show. So thank you so much for your contribution to my PayPal. It is much needed right now, and I can't thank you enough for all that you do, Billy. You are a consistent friend. You're there for me a lot, and I very much appreciate you. Thank you, sir. Let's see here. Apostasy. I'm here, but can only stay for a few minutes. Well, what the hell good are you to me? A few minutes? That's ridiculous. Ridiculous. I get it. Life happens. You're cool. You're cool, Apostasy. You know you're cool in the gang with me. Let's see. We've got a super chat. Amanda A. I really enjoy you on my channel, Amanda A. Very much so. I don't have much, but I like your work and want you to succeed. Thank you. My question is, how did you come by such an acerbic wit? God, that's a really good question because I don't know for sure. My stepfather was a bit of an ass. He was kind of a smart ass. But not in the most likable way, really. Like a lot of us really had issues with that guy. He wasn't all bad. Sometimes people aren't they're not one or the other. It's not always black and white. Sometimes there's a little gray. He's one of those guys. There were good things about him, but there were also he just could be a real dick. But I don't know if it's that or, of course, humor in general is very strong on my dad's side of the family. My dad was a really funny guy. I lost him at a very young age. I was 12 years old when I lost him due to cancer. But he, I just remember it was always gags growing up with dad. He was just a funny guy. And on his whole side of the family, they're just clowns. His father, my grandfather, was a total clown. His brothers and sisters are clowns. My uncle Tim in particular is just an absolute hoot. So I think humor kind of runs in my blood, you could say. Here's another funny thing about that. So my grandfather, my dad's dad was a funny guy, right? And then my grandfather on my mom's side was a very kind of deep thinking, philosophical, religious studies guy, but of course from the devotional approach as a believer, right? So on my mom's side of the family, grandfather, very philosophical, religious studies guy, and on my dad's side of the family, his dad, my grandfather there, a comedian, a jokester, a hoot. So weirdly, I seem to be almost an amalgamation of both sides. That's what popped out with me. That's the theory I'm running with anyway. It makes too much sense to ignore. But as to the sarcastic part of it, man, I think it's just ingrown or something. I don't know. I've watched a lot of movies growing up, a lot of TV. Maybe I've seen too much Robert Downey Jr. I don't know where it comes from, but it's something to think about for sure. As always, I enjoy the hell out of you, Amanda. Thank you for being here, and thank you so much for the super chat. Very much appreciated. Very much. All right, kids, what else we got going on here? Oh, Apostasy says, my show starts in 30 minutes, but I'm here to support. Okay, we'll have to check you out. Girl. Everyone, join Apostasy here for her show in 30 minutes. Be there or be square. by God. Let's see what Tux TV has to say here. Atheologically, you can have a chat/co-host on my channel anytime. The PayPal I sent should have my email down. I'm here for it all the way. I didn't know you had a show. I should have figured with a name like Tux TV that I'm American, you know. Not the money. Ask David Falk. He'll tell you I'm an idiot. I mean, I have no idea what I'm talking about. That guy knows his stuff. He's a straight shooter. Absolutely. So I will dig in and find your email there, Tux TV, and we'll make it happen. That sounds like a blasty blast. We'll make it happen. Jesse Meyer, you got the best of both sides. I tend to think so. So thank you for that. And you're very much welcome, Amanda A. All right, kids, it is 6:37 here in Kentucky, Central Standard Time. Why don't I have the accent, you might wonder? Because I'm not originally from here. I'm originally from Southern Indiana, Evansville, Indiana. Although Evansville is, it is just north of Kentucky. It's literally right across the river from Kentucky. But it's the strangest thing. You go from there, the southern tip of Indiana, you cross the bridge into Kentucky, and the accents change immediately, just like that. It's the wildest thing. It's the craziest thing. Just a jump across the river, and the accents suddenly altogether change. It's wild. So I don't have, I probably do to a degree since I've been living here for as long as I have now. It's been a few years, but I don't have quite as much a drawl as some other folks around here. I just don't got it. I don't got it. Let's go through here. Have I missed anybody? Just kind of pouring over this here. Any burning questions, desires? Again, welcome your super chats. I know you guys have got to have questions, and believe you me, I've got answers. I've got things to say. And of course, a reminder, if you want to contribute to my PayPal, the link is pinned at the very top of the comments. Very top. Let's see what we've got here. See what old Clayton Vino has to say. The transition to the Egyptian belief and the immortalization of the pharaohs to the immortalization of the deceased. How did that happen? Let me see if I can wrap my head around this question completely, Clayton. The transition to the Egyptian belief and the immortalization, of the pharaohs to the immortalization of the deceased. How did that? In other words, how did that go from being just royalty, the pharaohs, to being just commoners, or at least people who were not necessarily pharaohs, but were part of the elite. They had money. That's a good question. I don't know the answer to that. All I do know is that it was democratized over the process of time, so that eventually, initially this was just a thing for the pharaoh, for the king, that the king could be raised up and deified and immortalized like Osiris, but that was just for the pharaoh, only him. And over time, basically anyone who could afford the necessities of mummification and the various rites and so forth could be identified with Osiris in this process of being raised up to become essentially an immortal god who would live forever in the netherworld. That would be a perfect question for someone like Kara Cooney, and it's something I ought to look a little more deeply into as to why that democratization came about. But things tend to kind of evolve in that direction too, right? Like it's something is the latest and greatest of something is reserved just for the few or for the elite, but eventually it gets watered down to the normies, so it's just something that kind of naturally happens. That's a great question though, Clayton, and I appreciate your question. Zachary Lahoki says, I actually love the sound of your voice, Derek. It's a great narrating voice. Aww. You're too good to me, Zachary. You're too good to me. You're a good one, you're a good one. Reven Star, what's your opinion on crazy Orthodox Christians? Look, man, I don't, I've said this before and I say it again. I don't have a problem with anyone being Christian. I don't care what anyone else believes. I don't care. It's a free country. We've got freedom of religion, believe or practice whatever makes you happy, so long as you are not imposing that stuff on anyone else. All right? Because the moment you start doing that is when we've got a problem. That's when we've got a problem. But your run-of-the-mill Christian, it's like Thomas Jefferson once said, whether a man believe in no God or 20 gods, neither breaks my leg nor picks my pocket. I don't care. I've got, believe it or not, I've got plenty of friends and family who are very much devoted to Christianity and believe in the Bible and this and that. And there's no animosity between me and them, nor should there be. I love them just as they are. I wouldn't have them any other way. Guys, I'm only taking this fight to the religious right who are trying to impose their religion upon us, particularly here in the US, and Christian apologists, because what they do is, just as I see it, it's malpractice. And on the one hand, they're just trying to comfort themselves and the faithful, and that I don't have a problem with so much. But when they start combating us non-believers, essentially insisting or implying that we aren't justified in our non-belief, and that if we were really looking at this comprehensively, logically, digging into the actual data, we should kind of see this as somehow credible based on their oh so cogent arguments. And they're just wrong. I feel like at this point it's been aptly demonstrated. Like the game's over. Now we're just, not to say that plenty of people aren't still deluded by this ancient Mediterranean cult that grew too big for its britches. But I don't think they, in terms of how this has all been hashed out, in terms of the actual arguments, I feel like they've already lost. And now it's just a matter of explaining to them why their arguments don't work, even though it's already been explained ad nauseum. So yeah. Anyway, run-of-the-mill Christian, I don't care. You're cool with me. This says Daniel Moore, PayPal. Okay, great. If you sent me a PayPal, thank you so much. Which is your favorite mythological character? It's got to be Osiris. It's got to be Osiris, just because the parallels with Christ are uncanny. It's crazy. And we can't even say for sure whether the one influenced the other, though I tend to think, given the sheer amount of coincidences, it's almost unreasonable to say that there was no influence. And that's where Egyptologist Kara Cooney is coming from as of late, when she's been talking about that stuff. She's saying, yeah, of course the Osiris mythology influenced Christianity. Like, of course it did. She pulls no punches therein. But yeah, he is bodily raised up, deified, made immortal. He takes the throne in the Egyptian afterworld. Jesus does this essentially as well by ascending to heaven and being at the right hand of God. Each of them become the judge of those who either pass into the hereafter or are raised at the eschaton in Christianity, and are judged according to their deeds. Says this in Revelation, says this in the ancient Egyptian texts as well. Each of them, their resurrection serves as sort of they're kind of the model or prototype for all those who wish to be raised in their image. It's just it's wild. It's almost as if Osiris was Christ 1.0. So yeah, he's got to be my favorite, and that's why, having studied the Osiris myth and cult for as many years as I have, because of the fact that I am just so inherently fascinated with it and with the parallels, that's how I was able to slam dunk an actual Egyptologist, David Falk, is because I know an awful lot about this stuff. And of course, the other problem is that David Falk is a Christian apologist, so his faith is interfering with his ability to actually reason through this stuff in an objective and honest manner. So that's the other reason I was able to dunk on him. But it's just, yeah, with that particular character being my favorite, I've devoted a lot of time and study to that particular cult and myth. So yeah, there's your answer. Thank you so much for the PayPal, Daniel Moore. I always appreciate you. I think you follow me on social media as well, and you're a good sport. Glad you're around. Thank you so much. Hey, I can't pronounce your name. I'm so sorry, but he says, I was in Evansville yesterday. I'm in Southern Indiana. Heck yeah, good stuff. That's home. That's my hometown. Went to Wrights High School. Good old Wrights Panther. Did theater and speech and debate there. Imagine that. So yeah, Wrights High School was man. They had a strong program there in terms of both theater and speech and debate, a very strong program and some very amazing mentors. I wouldn't be where I am or who I am today if not for that. So yeah, kudos to you. All right, kids, any burning questions, desires, any super chats, PayPals? Definitely looking out for those. They get first dibs if you're able to support me in any way that you can. As I said, I had to splurge for all new equipment so that I can do these lives, which I'm enjoying doing, of course. But things are tight financially. They're tight. So if you can help, I'd super appreciate it. You can super chat me, or you can make a direct contribution to my PayPal, which is pinned at the very top of the comments here. The link to my PayPal is also there in the description for this video. So if you're able to do that directly, I get the money much quicker, and it'd be tremendously helpful during my time of need here. Very much so. Let's see here. Zachary, apologists can be the most dishonest when they're talking about Osiris. Yeah, no kidding. Anytime it comes to this comparative religion stuff, they're not. I know of maybe one apologist, though he's kind of apologist light, my friend Caleb Jackson, who is at least honest enough not to try and deny that these parallels are there. Of course, as an apologist, he's going to argue that in the case of Christ, it's all true and the others are myths. Yeah, I get it. But at least Caleb is reasonable enough to say that, yeah, Derek, you're right. You've got a point about this stuff, and it's kind of silly to try and deny it. C.S. Lewis understood this. C.S. Lewis did. John Granger Cook, who wrote Empty Tomb, Resurrection, Apotheosis, absolutely upholds the whole dying and rising God paradigm. He has validated it, vindicated it, and he's a Christian. John Granger Cook is a Christian. There's an actual article, and I'll have to share it with you guys sometime, where he says essentially, yes, there was this belief in other risen gods and immortalized heroes and so forth, but we can, it was just basically the same thing C.S. Lewis says. It was just a deep yearning for the real thing to come, So he reasons through it that way. I think that's still special pleading, but at any rate, yeah, there are some Christians who are at least somewhat reasonable about this, but for the most part, not so much. Not so much. I always appreciate you. Georgia just passed a bill making it illegal for a person to say they are trans. Seems like another step towards a theocracy. What do you think? I 100% agree, and I'm sickened to hear this. What? Just, look, here's my whole thing on trans. Let me vape. I don't understand it. I don't understand what's going on there with someone who is trans. And I don't need to. I don't need to. Not to say that they are on par with each other, because they're not. But allow me to explain. I'm a recovering alcoholic and addict. Okay. Now, not to equate trans with being an alcoholic or an addict, because alcoholism and addiction is an illness, and trans are not. That's not an illness. So far as I know, it's not an illness. It is how these people genuinely identify, and I believe that. But my point is that there are a lot of people who don't understand. When I talk about people who have never experienced alcoholism or addiction, again, not equating that with trans identity at all, but people do not understand if they haven't been there. Now, some will at least try to sympathize, even if they can't completely empathize. And in those cases, they don't need to understand it completely in order to sympathize. I feel the same way, again, and I can't stress this enough, not equating the two by any means, because alcoholism and addiction is a destructive illness. Being trans is not. My point is, I don't have to understand it. I don't have to understand it. I don't have to grasp it. I don't have to get it in order to understand that these people are living their authentic selves. They are being true to deep down how they identify. Why not let them? What the hell is wrong with that? Who are they hurting? Who are they hurting? Who is actually being harmed by someone identifying as their most authentic selves? Nobody. Not a damn person. What we're dealing with, the people like this in Georgia are just bigots. They're just bigots. Fuck them. And that's a shame. I'm glad that those of us in our community can be a voice for them and a source of understanding. Whatever we can do to help. I'm glad to be there for them. And I try to understand it. Even if I can't understand it completely, I do my best to try and wrap my head around it as best as I can, because I care about people. I really do. And yeah. Anyway, thanks for your comment, BG. Thank you so much. All right. Caterpillar says, off to walk the goats. Bye-bye. See you later, Caterpillar. Thanks for being here. Zachary, that was a good answer, Derek. This makes me sick. I agree. But thank you for that, Zachary. And Caterpillar says, thank you for being an ally. Always, precious. Always. You got me, and you got this. All right, guys, it's 6:55. We'll give it another 5 minutes here. If anyone has any burning questions, comments, desires, you can ask me literally anything. I will answer it. I don't care what it is. Appreciate your super chats. So any contributions you can make to PayPal will be appreciated. I'm still here for 5 minutes. I'll go longer if we've got a lot of action going on, but I don't see a whole lot of activity on this mundane Wednesday evening. But I am seeing the PayPals. Thank you so much for that, guys. Thank you so much. You have no idea how much it means to me. Anything else? Make sure I haven't missed anybody. Make sure I've not missed anybody. That would break my little pea-picking heart. Oh my God. This has been fun, though. Have us a little H2L. Questions, comments, super chats, crazy observations, really ridiculous things. What's this? Tor, Anderbeck, what do you think of idealism? Seems just as possible as physicalism to me. I really can't speak intelligently about that. I don't really know a great deal about that. I'd have to look into that more. Hey, give it to me for humility, right? If there's something I really don't know a great deal about, if I only have a vague notion of what you're talking about, I'm not going to sit here and pretend to know something about it. I ain't going to do that. I ain't going to do that. I think honesty is a good thing, but that's just me. That's just me. So I'd have to look into that a little bit more deeply, Tor, but I do appreciate your question. Amanda A., do you plug your socials? I'm not certain what you're getting at there, Amanda. Do I plug my socials? As in, do I like when I'm doing live like this? Is that what you're talking about? Because I certainly notify. Well, I will put out I'll share it to my YouTube so that people are notified ahead of time if that's what you're talking about, but I'm not absolutely certain. Be more specific, please. And Zachary Lahawkey, not a deep question, Derek, but favorite color in movie. Favorite color is blue. Various shades of blue. Deep blues, but also very kind of lighter. I don't know my colors well either. My ignorance is really beginning to show. But any kind of like an aqua blue, you know what I mean, or a deep kind of royal blue. I'm a big fan of blue. Big fan of blue. But I also like red and black and white together. You'll kind of see that theme in my channel. You'll see a lot of reds and blacks and whites and grays. So it's really hard to say. But that's a good question. And favorite movie? I think at one point it was probably the film Contact. No surprise there, right? Written by, based on the novel anyway, by Carl Sagan, starring Jodie Foster and Matthew McConaughey, because it was a great take on the clash between science and religion. And I was very young when this came out in the 90s. I think I was in my my college years, early college years, and I was just enthralled by it. I took the time to read the novel as well, which was great, by the actual novel Contact by Carl Sagan. But Interstellar is up there too. Man, I love Interstellar. Anything, I think, just about anything Christopher Nolan does, I'm a big fan of. So, and lo and behold, Matthew McConaughey pops in there again. He must really know how to pick him. Matthew McConaughey, he seems like a really interesting guy, and he really knows how to pick him. But Interstellar, the whole voyage into space and addressing the issue of time distortion and all of that because of general relativity, and it being as well a love story. Interstellar is a love story, and the whole score by Hans Zimmer, whose music I absolutely love. I'm enthralled with it. Anything Hans Zimmer does, anything he touches turns to gold. So big fan of Interstellar, man. So those are probably my top two. I'm sure I could come up with more if I thought about it. All right, guys. Real quick here, Torah, by the way, I love your video on why Jesus is dead. Really concise and powerful arguments. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I dedicated a lot of time to that. It's the top of the hour. It's 7 o'clock. Thank you so much for being here. I hope you enjoyed the show. I'm still a little new to this, so give it time. It'll get better as we go, but I very much appreciate everyone having been here. I very much appreciate your super chats and the contributions made to my PayPal. Guys, you've no idea. Every little bit helps so much. Oh, real quick, Amanda's saying, sorry, I meant do you want fans to know where else to find you on the internet? Twitter, Insta, yeah, Facebook, actually, because I'm very active on Facebook. My name is just like you see it spelled here. It's a very unusual spelling of Derek, Derreck, Bennett, Bennett. Find me on Facebook under that name. Amanda, get on in there. Send me a friend request. because I'm most active, other than the YouTube stuff, I'm most active on Facebook. So yes, great question, and do join up with me there. Guys, we're gonna put a lid on it. Once again, thanks for being here. Thank you so much. Thanks for the support. Thanks for the questions. Love y'all. Peace, love, and laughter. Atheologica, where religion is both fascinating and stupid.